at certain points, I felt myself leave my body. I got to that point where I felt I was done with life. I'm not going to cry on camera. Nifemi for president. Okay, come and catch yourself. Hello and welcome. It's the E.B.U.N show, and it is the season 3. I'm so excited. Many of you have been asking, where have you been? Have you stopped the E.B.U.N show? God forbid bad thing. But you know, it really opened my eyes to the fact that we're beginning to make impact, and you people are really wonderful. Checking out on us, looking out for us. I didn't know that so many people are already watching the E.B.U.N show. Like my husband just told me that Femi Akode of TVC. Have I not made it like that? Even the producer of Journalist Hangout just walked up to me and said, "You've not been doing your show." Hey, me, like this me. Okay, so when you see me on the street, put respect to my name, okay? It's the season 3, and it's been an amazing season 1, season 2, and season 3 is about to be a blockbuster. What did I say? But before we go ahead, you've watched season 1, you've watched season 2, you've not subscribed, you've not liked, you've not shared. Is this playing? Is this not witchcraft? Like, just go and subscribe right now. Press the bell. So what took us so long to start season 3? We said, let us take small break. Maybe like 2 weeks break and come back with a banger. Hey, 2 weeks became 3 weeks, 1 month. And a lesson I just learned is you cannot afford to rest. Continuity is key. Continuity and consistency. And really, by the grace of God, we do not intend to do what we did again, take so long a break. No, you just have to keep working. I'm not talking about not taking rest when your body needs it, not sleeping properly. I'm just saying when you have something to do, you cannot afford to hands off, because you are not the only one doing what you do. So I've learned my lesson, and it will not happen again. Plus, I had my birthday. July, July is the best month of the year. Argue with your key part. When I was dressing up for the show, I was like, just dress simple. But I couldn't afford simple. Of course, I still look simple. But this sweats, I wasn't supposed to combine this much jewelry with it. But it's my birthday gift. And you know, there's a way your gift will just be telling you, use me, use me, use me. I got quite a number of gifts, and this is one of them. Amazingly, the person who gifted me this does something funny. Like, it gets my gift from me. I'm a jewelry seller. And so he will just type, I need a gift for somebody. And when we finish negotiation, he's going to say the gift is for you. He did that last year, and it got me. I didn't even think that was what was going to happen. And he did it this year again. And I'm like, I was about mentioning his name, but I will not. So that the people in my space will not be going to meet that. Where's my birthday gift to? Is my uncle, my personal person. Okay, so I really appreciate all the gifts, all the wishes, all the prayers, all the love, the calls, the DMs.
What about the gift I got?
Ah, babe, now your own is your banker.
Why are you not mentioning it?
Of course, my husband made my day wonderful. Thank you so much, baby.
With all the money that I spent.
Okay, come and catch yourself. Nifemi for president. My husband for president. Let's go and look for the party. Labour Party is taking. APC is taking. PDP is taking. Maybe we'll go and look for another party. Thank you so much. You know I love you. You know I love you. Thank you. And oh, see, this year I'm gonna be working on cloud 9. Hey. Happy day.
Happy birthday, baby. Babe. Don't even stop. Happy birthday, baby. Babe.
Another thing happened on my birthday. Up until then, I used to think I didn't like people coming around for my birthday. I'm not really a party person, ironically, right? So my husband was saying that some people were going to come over, and I'm like, no, please, let me just have a nice time, enjoy myself. But amazingly, this couple came. It wasn't as if it was planned because really there was no party, but they came around, and even I am surprised at how much I appreciated their presence, and I still appreciate it. They came with a gift. It wasn't even so much about the gift as much as their presence, that they came all the way, they spent time, we laughed together, we ate together, and I really appreciate it. So it means beyond the money, beyond the gift of people matters a lot. And some people do their birthdays and they say, I did not get this, or I see people going out of their way to say gift cards, what are you going to give to me for my birthday? Well, I'm not saying it is wrong, especially if you're doing it towards a good cause. Maybe you're saying, I want to give motherless babies this so amount of money. That is okay. But listing bags, listing shoes, I don't feel it is necessary. Let me give you an expo. If you want people to give you something for your birthday, you give gifts too. Yes, what goes around comes around. One thing I've learned to do is pay attention to people, check on them. You will always receive these things back. I'm not saying now begin to give to this particular person so that this particular person will give to you back, but surely people notice somehow. The word has a record, heaven has a record of the good things you've done, and you cannot lack it. Amen, sister. Of recent, I've been in a good place. Yes. And you might not understand until I tell you about an episode of my life that happened in the year 2020. Yes, I decided to share this part of me in the very first episode of season 3. So 2020 was a tough year for me. Yeah, that was the COVID year. But beyond COVID, it was a tough year for me because I went through depression. Yes, I went through depression. It was a year where I was really confused. So maybe 2 years before then, I'd been having these issues. You know, some of you who know me, or if you've been following the E.B.U.N show, I talked about not doing makeup anymore, moving away to other things. So then I was a makeup artist. I had a good studio, well, standard studio that if you walked into, you say, you tried. Yeah, so it wasn't as if business was bad. I had quite a number of customers. Like I even had some stars, their mothers were my customer. So it wasn't as if money wasn't coming in at all, but I wasn't just feeling fulfilled. I was into autogele, I was into makeup artistry, and ask all my clients, they would tell you that I was and I was good at what I was doing, because long after I even stopped, I had many people call me, why are you not doing makeup again? You were quite good at it, blah, 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 blah. But I just found out that at the end of each day's work, it didn't matter how much came in for me, I was still going to feel bad. My husband was practically my backbone. Of course, God is a constant. And I would do autogele for people, and I would criticize the autogele to the extent of crying. And my husband would say, I see nothing wrong with this autogele. I never believed him because I would be like, You don't know anything about autogele. So he says, snap this thing first and send to the client. And the client will go, wow, this gele is amazing. But that is the same gele I would have cried over. Like, this is not just good. I was so hard on myself. I didn't know why that was happening. So I also had a friend who told me then that, okay, don't make any decision in a rush. If after a year you come back, so we dated the time we spoke, and she said, if after a year you come back to tell me you still have this same feeling, then I know you know what you're saying and I'll let you make your decision. And so COVID came. COVID was like about a year or more of the time we had that discussion. And the feeling was the same. I just would be sad after every work done. Not that the clients would say my makeup is bad. Matter of fact, I was getting more referrals and everything. There was just something wrong at the core of the middle. That doesn't make sense. Okay, Sha know that there was something wrong and I couldn't place my finger on it. So 2020, I knew for sure I wasn't going back to makeup. Now, you would think that is easy. There are other things you could move on to, like dust your certificates, go back into broadcasting. Of course, I have a media background and I still do that. Of course, I do voiceover. You know, I do voiceover. Like, check out The Voice. I do production for people. So, for someone who knew me at that point would feel it was an easy thing to do, just move on to other things, but it wasn't. Because it wasn't easy for me to just say, this is the next thing I'm going into. I wasn't sure. I didn't know what I was doing next. I think for me, it was months later that I found out that it was just more than getting another job for me. It was a search of purpose, but it took time. At that time, I wasn't even sure that it was a call to purpose. It was a call to knowing what you want to do with your life beyond money. Of course, money is important, but much more is the fact that you need to know what you're supposed to do with your life. So I had to see my pastor. I'm a Christian, and my pastor is Reverend DJ Olabode. So I went to see him then, and he gave me certain prayer points that these are the things you should do. He told me to read certain books, and of course, I prayed. I was on a search, and one of the search landed me here, the E.B.U.N show. So the next question was going to be, how will the E.B.U.N show fetch me money? As a season 1, season 2, I was spending a lot of money on data, on upload, on equipment, and I didn't know how money will come. In fact, I've still not made my first money from the E.B.U.N show. So what I'm doing at the moment is just taking one step at a time to wherever God is going to lead me. I know someone will be watching who really doesn't believe in God. Well, that doesn't make us enemies. I believe in God. You might not believe in God, but it doesn't make us enemies. But you understand the concept of finding purpose, right? Okay, so we have a common ground. So I'm just taking one step at a time. And I'm learning that you might not have all your answer at a particular point of life. You should enjoy your life as you take one step at a time. So now, back to my story. I got pregnant and I was very sick. You would not understand the extent of the sickness. I was so sick to the extent that I could not move from my room to my sitting room. Yes, I stayed in my room for 2 months, if not more than. So, thank God for my mom. My mom was around then. My husband had to do everything. And that same husband that was doing everything for me must not come close to me, because I didn't want to smell him. I didn't want to smell my first daughter. I didn't want to smell anything. If I should as much as perceive my own daughter, I was going to throw up. It was that bad. So it looked like everything was caving in on me. And at certain points, I felt myself leave my body. I'm sure my husband must have been scared at that point. Maybe the first time I told him, he didn't understand it. I would lie down, not that I was sleeping, and I would just find myself jerked back to life. Like, what just happened? It looks like I got away and I came back. That happened for like 3 times. So it was really a scary time for me. Like, God, where's your face? My business, I just shut down my business. I'm pregnant. It looked like I was dying at the point. But thank God for God who gives us hope. Thank God for my husband. Thank God for my mom. And to now make everything worse, my mom passed away when my baby was 3 months. Wow. I still cried yesterday. Aside my husband, my mom was that person I would tell anything. Like, I didn't even know how close we were until she went. And to make it worse, my mom was at my place when she was passing. The day my mom was passing, I was the one who got there first. So the pain has stayed since, I think this is 1 year after, and each time my heart still pains and hurts me. I can't discard a sponge that she uses to take a bath. Her food that she eats is still in the kitchen because I cannot throw them away. So it's been a tough period of, I'm not going to cry on camera. Okay. So I thought I was ready to talk about my mom, but apparently I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready. So my mom is not the type to get over easily. My mom is that person who is so selfless. My mom is that person that has no favorite child. That if you gift my mom something, she's going to use that gift to pray for all her children. Like, you can never know which of us my mom prefers, or which of us she loves the most. My mom was that person that was there for me during my pregnancies. So I told my husband that even if I had not made up my mind to stop giving birth, with the death of my mom, I'm not sure I want to be pregnant again. Like, even if she's not around, she's that person you call. My mom. I miss her. I miss her. And I'm identifying with everyone who has lost their mom. It's not what is the fetable? It's not an easy thing. I lost my dad when I was in part 1 of Obafemi Awolowo University. And of course, hey, parents. So I'm telling you, if you still have your parents or you have one of them, just do the things you're supposed to do for them. You see, you are busy now, Abi. I pray they will not be sick, because that time you do not have now, you're going to have it. Because, let me not paint the worst case scenario. I'm just trying to encourage you that in that your busy schedule, in that your chase after money, you should look out for your parents. Because you see, life has taught them that they should be strong. When they're going through issues, they should act strong for you. So when you call them, they tell you, yeah, everything is okay. That's a typical African parent. But I learned to do something with my mom when she was alive. When I ask, Mommy, Shewa, okay, that's Mom, are you fine? The natural response will be, I'm fine. Then I begin to itemize. When did you eat? When was this? When was that? Do you still have this in the house? And my mom is not that person that can even lie to save her own life. She was that righteous. My mom can't lie. So she said, Ebelomo, you're disturbing. I'm like, I'm not disturbing you. Answer these questions. That is when you know that these, that are not really going on well. So I want to encourage you to look after your parents. And back to what I was saying. I'm trying to say that I've had some black points. I don't know if that expression is correct. Where I've had to battle with things in the past. This is 2022. So the past 2 years have not really been exciting for me. Maybe now I'm beginning to realize why Partly why I had to go through that, because somehow people who are going through the same thing have been calling me to share their experiences. Them, I don't know why they chose me to share their experiences with, but God understands. And maybe now I'm beginning to understand my purpose more. I'm not saying now I have a grasp of it, like this is exactly what I'm supposed to do. Sometimes all I do is just listen. You call me, I just listen. If I don't have the right thing to say, I'm sincere to let you know I do not have the right thing to say. So now I'm understanding partly why I went through what I went through. Maybe it is because I need to be there for some other people. All of us know how to apply makeup. We learn to paste a pretty smile. So when we go for social gatherings, everybody say, "Yay, yo, see fine girl. I love your dress. I love your makeup. And you smile pretty too." But a lot of people are going through a lot of things that we do not feel free to share with everybody. And a course I started taking made me understand that it is not because they don't like you. It is not because they don't believe you're a good person. That is why they are not sharing their problems with you. It is because they don't trust you yet. If you've not really learned to listen to people, genuinely listening, not thinking of the response you want to give the person, not thinking of your own experience to counter what the person is saying, that, me too, that was how. No. People begin to open up to you when they know that you genuinely are listening to them, not necessarily because you want to have a perfect answer for them. Most times people do not want to be judged. Sometimes people don't even need those answers. That's the irony of it. Most times the answers are with them. Like if I have an issue, it has happened to me severally that when I'm talking to a friend, I'm pouring my heart out to you. As I'm talking to you, I'm answering my own questions. So you just be a good listener, listen. If you have the right answer, say it. I'm not trying to counter or contradict myself, but I'm saying do not always listen to the people with the mind of let me start preparing an answer for what he or she has to say. No, just listen. And if there is need for an answer, you would know. I went through that for 2 years, and all of a sudden, my pastor just started speaking about joy. That is why I even believe the more that there is God. So it's not the first time such a thing will be happening to me, that I'll be going through some certain issues, and it just comes up and says, I have a message. And the message just happens to be the answer to what you're going. Well, there must be a God somewhere. There must be a God somewhere. Believe it or not, me, that is my truth. And there's a scripture that says, righteousness, peace, joy in the Holy Ghost. That's the kingdom of God. So if you belong to this kingdom, you have joy. Like, joy is not even what you have to make effort or produce by yourself. It is a gift you have. Woo! Amen, sister. Like, my husband says that you're preaching. I'm not here to preach, but I'm talking about the thing that has happened to me, and I'm talking to you about it. Matter of fact, I don't know if this my episode has head or tail, but I know that there's someone I'm reaching. So I'm just going to talk. And so it starts speaking about joy, the things God has already done for you, things that are not promised. If you want in depth, you should reach me. I'll share my message notes with you. Matter of fact, on my Facebook page, I posted one because I just had the impulse to post it. And I know it reached some people. So sis, whatever you're going through, bro, whatever you're going through right now, it is a phase. It is a phase, and I also understand that not many people would understand you, because at some point, I'm not even telling you everything that happened during the course of that time, and I got responses like, I thought you were strong, I thought you were this, I thought you knew better. And I'm like, even that saddened me the more that it is not as if I do not know. I don't even understand what is happening. Like when you have mental issues, you might not really be able to explain. So when people have malaria, you don't ask them, I thought you were strong. No, you will look out for them. So when people are dealing with mental issues, they might not even have the word to express what they're going through. I think the best you can do for them is just be there. And when you're there for people, you don't necessarily have to talk. You can just sit by them. If they want to cry, let them cry. If they want to swing moods, let them swing moods. You can pray for them. It is not to become judgmental and say, I thought you were this, I thought you knew God. God. Those things were said to me, of course, many out of love because they were looking out for me, but those weren't the right answers. Those weren't the things that really helped me. So I can't even at this point say I'm totally out of it, but I know that I'm not where I used to be. I'm not giving up on life. I have purpose. Because one of the things the devil sold to me at that point too was the fact that I was done with life. I wasn't looking forward to the next day. I felt I had failed, but I had not failed. There are so many lies life will sell to you. Do not believe it. Just live that day through with God. Honestly, if you say I'm preaching to you because I got to that point where I felt I was done with life. And this might be shocking to many of you, but of course my husband is behind the camera and he knows I'm saying the truth. Matter of fact, he went through roller coaster of a time, and thank God for where we are. This is season 3. It's going to get better, and I'm still loyal to the cause. You remember what I said in episode 1 of season 1, that I'm not that person who stands as a marriage coach, who knows everything, who is a life coach, who comes to say this is the answer, this is the way to do it. Nah, I'm just that person who is willing to journey life with you one step at a time. And men are asking for participation on the show. The program is for women and the men who love them. If you have a wholesome woman living with you, if you have a wholesome girlfriend, you're going to enjoy life. So when I get to that point where I find a good topic to bring a man over for, definitely. Matter of fact, I have a guest. Let me not let the cat out of the bag yet, but look forward to this season. It's going to be an amazing season. Then, you know that season 1, we had a giveaway. Season 2, we had a scholarship. I'm going to, for you to know the authenticity of the things we do during the week, I'm going to drop the video of how the scholarship went, the screening process, the people who emerged winner, and you're going to see the face. She has even finished a course at every training center now. I'm so excited about it. I'm going to drop the video so that you know how real we are when I approach you for help, because we're going to be helping a lot of people. We're going to be helping a lot of women. And that's it on the show for today. Thank you for staying the time with me. Thank you for listening to all my rants. If you had any experience alongside what I've gone through, you can drop it. If you're still going through it, or if you've overcome it, please share your experience. We fly on the wings of others. Drop your comment, let me know. And if there is anything you're looking forward to in season 3, blast up the comment section. Thank you so much. I love you. This is Ebunlomo Oguntoye of the E.B.U.N show signing out now. Mwah. Bye.
Enjoy.